That's right, we actually have Subterror out here showcasing some of its awesome power. We have some hero shenanigans, and is that Eldlich bringing it on home? Yes, it is. Don't beg 30% of you that have not smashed the ever-living crap out of that subscribe button. Smash it so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. Yeehaw. So we have Subterror today. Sporting off, well, of course, the best monster ever. The whole cool thing about this deck is just you hide behind your small Guru package, and then you attempt to mitigate what your opponent's doing, relying on the power of floodgates. It's very, very straightforward for what we're seeing here, and, you know, effectively gets the job done for a lot of the things that you would really expect to see out here for this deck. So, actually incredibly happy to see that this is, you know, still doing good. You're even packaging in a small Bysteel package in here. So we have triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joyspring. We have one copy of Jerusalem, 2 copies of Magna Hut, triple copies of the Space Rock. We have 2 copies of Fiendus, 2 copies of Guru, 1 Dark Magician with a 1 Red Eyes Black Dragon. We have 1 Called by the Grave, triple copies of Pot of Prosperity, triple copies of Red Eyes Fusion, 1 Secret Village, 1 Set Rotation, 1 Terraforming with triple copies of the Hidden City, triple copies of Infinite Impermanence, 2 copies of Metaverse, triple copies of Solemn Judgment with 1 Final Battle, and triple copies of Summon Limit here. Then we have the 1 Bucephalus 2, 1 Selene with 1 Anima, we have 1 Lingeribo with 1 Nightmare Unicorn, 1 Dahark with 1 Asa, we have 1 Access Code with 1 Meteorologic Aggregator, 1 Omega with triple Dragoon, 1 Garuda, and 1 Anantis. Our side deck here is triple Dimension Shifter, triple copies of Cosmic Cyclone, triple copies of the Slayer of the Ultimates, triple copies of Dimensional Barrier, and triple copies of Raining Down from the Heavens, evenly matched here, wrapping up, well, your Subterror list. And just because you see a smaller package of this in here, don't be surprised, alright? It still works on the smaller detail for that. Alright, next up here we have Heroes. And this isn't just any hero. This is Ian Shuffle got good stuff. Sporting off triple Book of Eclipse here. Kind of forced to rely more on these particulars here. Kind of is like as the format kind of shifts here. You kind of have to rely a little bit on more of this, and I also love the fact we're getting all of this value down here from the extra deck. So this is going to be a lot of Aqua Dolphin hand-ripping shenanigans, supposedly. So we have 2 copies of Elemental Hero Stratus, 1 copy of Liquid Soldier with 1 Shadow Mist, we have 1 Spirit of Neos with 1 Neos, we have 1 Faris with 1 Vion, we have 2 copies of Malicious with 1 Plasma, we have 1 Denier with 2 copies of Crosskeeper, 1 Renauld with 1 Fireflame Lady, triple copies of Ash. We have 1 Imperm with 2 Nibiru, triple copies of A Hero Lives, triple Fusion Destiny, 2 Yin Shuffle. We have triple Book of Eclipse, 1 Crossout Destiny, 1 Called by the Grave, 1 Durandal, 1 copy of Living Fossil, 1 Rhoda, 1 Instant Contact, 1 Mash Change, 1 Polymerization, and 1 Miracle Fusion. Down here in the extra deck, we have the 1 Access Machine, 1 Appaloosa, 1 Nightmare Unicorn with 1 IP Masquerade. We have 1 Cross Sheet with 2 copies of Isolde, 1 copy of Extra Hero Wonder Driver, 1 Cross Crusader with 1 Dark Law. We have 1 Destroy Phoenix Enforcer, 1 Marine Dolphin, and 1 Marine Neos. Then we have 1 Absolute Zero and 1 Sunrise. Then we have 1 Nibiru, triple copies of Twin Twisters, 1 Arby's Feather Duster, triple copies of the Talents, 1 Thrust, triple copies of Anti-Scam Fragrance, and triple copies of Evenly Matched here. Wrapping up the, I want to look at my opponent's hand and see, you know, how much we can try to shenanigans them, but I am very happy to see that, you know, in all the terms of like all of the hero innovations and things out here, that this deck has still got some positivity going for it, at least in terms of its cooler iterations. Next up here, we have a Eldlich deck sporting off Dragoon. Now, I'll be honest with you here. I know a lot of people kind of look at this deck and they're like, why would I want to play, you know, Dark Dragoon in this when I would rather just set all of my cards and kind of just play the, haha, my big boss monster is indestructible. I agree with you on that, all right? I understand that in terms of protect the castle, this seems way more inviting than the average, you know, bear out here. But to be perfectly honest with you, this does give you some differences of opinions out here and different things. 32 trap cards can be intimidating sometimes, so I get and understand wanting to change things up a little bit. But we have 2 copies of Eldlich Golden Lord, 2 copies of Fallen of Albaz, and 1 Light Hexial Fusion. We also have triple Branded Fusion, triple copies of Conquistador, triple copies of the Draco Utopian Aura. We have triple copies of the Scarlet Sanguine, triple copies of Goza Match, 2 Haguero with triple copies of Rivalry. We have triple copies of Skill Drain, triple copies of Solemn Judgment, triple copies of Solemn Reich, triple copies of There Can Only Be One, and triple copies of Torrential Tribute. Down here in the extract, we have triple Link Spider, 1 Zeus, 1 Gustav Max with 2 copies of Pallades, 1 Tyrus with 2 Albion. We have 2 copies of Mirjade, 1 Lubellion, 1 Titaniaclad, and 1 Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. Then we have triple copies of Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood, triple copies of Lava Golem, triple copies of the Giant Chicken Mode. We have triple copies of Evenly Matched, and triple copies of Mistake here, wrapping up Eldlich. And once again, I mean, 32 trap cards might look unfun to some people out here, but there are duelists out here that genuinely enjoy the control aspects that the metagame actually brings to the table. And I think that those are very important to kind of understand in terms of differences in playability and so forth. Next up, here's another Eldlich list. Oh boy. So now we shift from, we're going to play Branded Fusion and produce, Mirror Jade boss monsters, to the other Eldlich variant here, which is going to be, we're going to use dualities along with other pot cards to kind of facilitate some of this draw power. And, this build is back to Cursed Eldland here, which you did not see Eldland in the other variant, which is kind of interesting, by the way. Do kind of keep in mind that this kind of proves that there are multiple variations to this deck that you can actually, have success with. So you don't have to play the same boring mentality over and over and over again. So once again, we have triple copies of Eldlich, the Golden Lord, triple copies of Lord of the Heavenly Prison with a 1 Call by the Grave. We have 2 Cursed Eldland with 1 White Destiny, 2 Pot of Duality with triple copies of Pot of Extravagance. We have triple Conquistador, 2 copies of Dimensional Barrier with 2 copies of Dogmatica Punishment. We have triple copies of Scarlet Sanguine with 2 copies of Haguero. We have triple copies of Ice Dragon's Prison with triple Rivalry of the Warlords. We have triple Skill Drain. We also have triple Solemn Judgment and 2 copies of Solemn Reich here. Down here in the extract, we have 2 Vampire Sucker with 1 Sprint. We have 2 Link Spider with 1 Hipposhigin, 1 Evandrid Savior with 2 copies of Juggernaut Libby, 2 Gustav Max, your 1 Garuda, and triple copies of an Intis. And then we have triple Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood, triple Lava Golem with triple Anti-Spell Fragrance, triple Imperial Iron Wall, and triple copies of the Shadow Imprisoning Mirror here, wrapping up your other variation of Eldlich. And like I said, and you can see that this deck is showcasing 2 different routes of play that you can go through in order to get to that level of success. I think that that's pretty cool, ladies and gentlemen. So don't mock on diversity and things like that, because I know a lot of people out here are like, I want to test this because I don't like the variant. That's fine. You can try other things. The last one we have for you guys here is a Traptrix deck that got first place out of its regional. I wanted to kind of just showcase this because Traptrix is kind of in an interesting place right now where everybody's like, we take 3 structure decks and shove them together, but like you don't really see a lot of the, other success in terms of ratios and things that people are trying out here that kind of open up the door, to up the deck into a bigger consistency, like, Fenrir, for example, here. So we have triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, triple copies of Fenrir with the 1 Lord of Heavenly Prison. We have 2 copies of the Arachna Campa, 2 copies of Dionea with triple copies of Mantis. We have triple copies of Maramelio with triple copies of Pudica. We have 1 copy of the Call by the Grid, triple Pot of Prosperity with your 1 Garden, 1 Bottomless Trap Hole, triple Evenly Matched, 2 Floodgate Trap Hole, 1 of the Trap Hole that ends my dueling career all the time, triple Infinite Permanence, 1 Trap Hole Nightmare, and then we have triple Holatia and 1 Traptrix Trap Hole Nightmare. And then, of course, we have triple Sarah with 1 Kularia, 1 Adipus with 1 Asa, 1 Axis Code Talker with 1 Rafflesia. We have 2 copies of the Pincolia, 1 Almororis, 1 Reader, 1 Arise Heart, 1 Zeus, and 2 Zeus. And of course we have triple Space Rock, 2 Cosmic Cyclone, 1 Feather Duster, triple Dimensional Bear, triple Goza Match, and triple copies of Solemn Judgment here. Wrapping up, your chunk of interesting goodies today. So Subterror, Eldlich, and even more Traptrix. Yeah, this meta is not diverse, people say, but, duelists will have their opinions, won't they? Please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here in a day, guys. Peace out. patrons. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.